Welcome everyone to the opening round of the European Rally Championship for 2024. The ERC is back, everyone. We are looking forward to a thrilling season ahead. First stop for us today on the opening day of the rally is the qualifying stage, which myself, Bex Williams, and the man next to me, our rallying expert, Julian Porter, will be talking you through. As you can see, there's our road order as we head into qualification. A little bit of a change this year to what we've seen in previous years for qualification. Usually, guys would do their qualifying stage and then they would pick their own road order. But it has changed around this year, Julian. It's a little bit different, isn't it?
Yeah, it's basically your qualifying position in reverse, so to speak. So the fastest will go last on the road, depending on like the 15 plus your FIA seeded drivers, people like Paddon and things like that. So if they're outside the top 15, they will still be part of that. They don't just end up right at the very back. What's interesting though is where exactly is the best place to go? Normally on gravel, it's further back, but from what we're hearing, the drivers aren't quite sure whether it's as clear cut as that, because some of the stages might not clean, some of them might clean so much they become so abrasive. Tyre wear could be a concern and a factor. Yeah, we have a lot of factors this weekend. Not everyone's expecting it to be as hot as it is. We have temperatures just nudging 25 degrees here in Hungary. It's pretty beautiful out there as we watch our reigning ERC champion, Hayden Paddon, with John Kennard alongside, take to the qualifying stage first. As Julian says, where is the best place to be? Where is the sweet spot going to be from the qualifying stage? One thing for sure, I'm sure predominantly they're all going to be flat out here to try and get maybe in the midsection, Julian, is the sweet spot, but that's hard enough to try and do. It's a lot harder because they, as you've already mentioned, they don't pick their road position, so it's not like they can pick their perfect. They're now gauging it potentially off their, they were looking at their free practice 1, their free practice 2 times and thinking, okay, if I set that kind of time, that's in the middle. But when you've got the actual proper clock running, as in a qualifying stage, the pace ramps up a little bit. So it's a gauge, it's a guide, but it's not like the Holy Grail. So it's going to be very, very difficult to see who goes where and whether there's people flat out, whether there's people trying to ease off and slow down just to give us themselves a little bit further down the road order. But let's see. Absolutely, let's see. Martin Cesks now then, off the line here. And as you can well see, we've been talking about, it's a gravel event that we're welcoming you to here in Hungary. We finished the season last year in the same country, but on a very different surface. It was an asphalt event. And now we've moved south of Budapest to Veszprém, which is the middle of Hungary, let's say, and completely different surface of gravel. We had to just come out of that there. We were drifting very, very wide. With Cesks there, just, I don't know whether he just ran along the edge of the grass, but he definitely had to come off the throttle to get the car coming back in towards him. Something else that's very, very different and very new is Martin Cesks is in a Toyota Yaris, GR Yaris for this this season's campaign. Hayden Paddon sticking with his trusted Hyundai. But yeah, we see the Toyota now making its debut at the European Championship. Yeah, we've seen it quite a few times now in WRC, of course, but great to see Cesks behind the wheel of the Toyota, staying with the MRF team this year as well. I think it's going to be exciting. We've got a lot to talk to you about the whole weekend. A raft of changes within the ERC that we can talk you throughout the whole weekend, but we do have our first driver through the first time on the board for qualifying. It's 3 minutes, 7.6 seconds for Hayden Paddon. I mean, if we look through, the quickest time was 3:07.2 through our free practice, which was Franceschi. So Hayden is slower than that, but is the stage getting a little bit like cut up, dug up? Yeah, it's evolved, certainly. Let's hear from him.
Hayden, it's 3:07.6. It's a little bit slower than your best run in free practice. Has the stage got worse, or are you being a little tactical because you don't want to be 15th?
Oh, no, that was a little quicker than our practice run, I think, but it felt a little bit looser. I don't know why. It just felt like maybe some gravel would come back in the lines a little bit, so it was just a clean run. I think it's just make sure you don't have a mistake, because then if you fall to the back, then it's a disaster. As long as we're in between 10 and 16 somewhere on the road, we'll be reasonably happy.
Okay, so 10 and 16 is kind of the midpoint, which is what we were saying. So
interesting, isn't it? But you know, how will it all work out for him? We'll find out very, very shortly. Hayden Paddon was on the podium at every single event last year. He had a super consistent season. For Martin Czesk, he took back-to-back wins at Poland and at his home event in Latvia, of course. Another podium then for him in Sweden.
I think the biggest thing is getting used to a new car. He'd been with the Skoda for a long time, even though it was an updated model for last season. It's just completely different. A Skoda's a Skoda. It still just gives you something, even though it's maybe a new evolution or a new model, but quicker than Hayden Paddon so far. I do think there was one little small moment there, just where we're on that long left-hander. He just seemed to run a bit wide, and I don't know whether we went along the grass a little bit on the outside, but definitely have to lift off, and the bit of bushes were just on the exit, and we just saw him have to get very close to them. For him, probably not even registering.
Probably not, no. We often notice that. Seb Scott is at the stage end for us. Let's have a word with Martin Czesk. See if he feels that run is enough in qualifying.
Martin, 6 attempts faster than Hayden Paddon there, fastest so far. You seem happy, but I heard there was a little moment in there on a long left-hander.
Yeah, you saw that also, yeah? Yeah, I think we lost some time there, definitely.
What caused the moment?
I just wanted to go faster.
Oh, you did?
But at the time, I think I did not.
Good answer. Well, he did register it, Jules.
Yeah, well, that's. I mean, to be fair, we did hear him ease off, but it was this corner here. He was just understeering all the way through it and just went wide. And you know, sometimes people say, like we might say, oh, that was at a moment, and then they don't register it at the end, or we get told we get too excited about things in the commentary box, and then the driver doesn't kind of like register it, and you're like, ah. So that was why I was a little bit careful when I just saw him run wide. I thought, that didn't look like the optimum line that we needed there.
Now, we're with Efren Lorena. It should have been...
I thought we were going straight on there at one point.
It should have been Mads Osberg who was here, but unfortunately, Mads can't join us for qualifying. He has posted on his social media to say that he's been ill all of this week, and he's back in hospital for the second time this week. So we're sending all our best wishes and get well soon to Mads Osberg.
Yeah, wish him a speedy recovery. I mean, he still can start the rally this afternoon. He just will be running first on the road for tomorrow. So let's see. Let's
talk about the surface. Seeing as we're getting up close and personal with it here from this camera angle, we're hearing lots of different feedbacks in some sections, and you mentioned this. It's a little bit softer. It could rut up during the weekend. Others are rough. Especially when we get to Sunday, there are some rougher stages there.
You see it in this corner here, it's quite rutted. And I've seen some pictures already from the free practice where it's really digging in, and that's what happened. And under braking and under acceleration, when braking the cars are digging in, and acceleration where the wheels are really spinning high, and that just creates like ruts. And yeah, we've heard some of the stages are particularly soft. So could be interesting with ride heights, because if you lift the car higher, it's less dynamic as in performance. Matthieu Franceschi, I saw him last season, back again for another year, upgraded the car as well, remember?
This is what I'm liking. When you look at the entry list, the amount of returning drivers that we have to the championship. It was great last year. If you're following our coverage, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. We didn't know who was going to be on the top step of the podium at any event. And that's exactly the same coming into this year, but great to see so many returning drivers and some new drivers to boot as well. I think we've got a fantastic season ahead in 2024, and wherever you're watching around the world, we're glad you are with us. Make sure you join us for the coverage all weekend.
Lorena here and Sarah Fernandez, they are in the latest evolution of a Skoda, so the Fabia RS. Remember, they tried that last year on one rally and didn't gel with it and went back to the old, actually finishing the season in a really old Skoda. Now they're having another go. Everyone else is just upping their game with their cars quicker than anybody else so far, the three. So is that, Hayden did say, didn't he? He said it just felt a little bit looser than when I got some more gravel, maybe fell into the tracks.
I think his exact quote was, it was a little crooker than his first run.
Right,
well,
okay.
you know, but that's exactly what he meant, but meaning that it wasn't as good as his first runs. Yeah, anyway.
Every passing car will just clean out. Every time you see all this dust and all these stones, that is stones and dust clearing out of what is the optimum line. What amazes me is how they find that optimum line, each passing car.
Efren, fastest through so far by just half a tenth of them. You're happy. Do you think this stage is going to clean more, or what's the stage like?
I just try to push as much as possible, but also be intelligent. For sure. Luckily, finally, since a lot of qualifying now, we did a really good qualifying. I'm happy with that. I'm proud. We worked really hard during this winter, so keep going.
Do you know what? I spoke to him this morning, and he has a renewed sense of energy coming into this year. He really does. I'm excited to see what our former champion in ERC can do.
I was about to say that's probably the happiest I've seen him in 12 months, because last year was really tough for them. Really
it was,
tough.
Yeah. But let's hope that it's a different energy he's bringing into this year. The energy from Matthieu Franceschi last year was pretty special. I mean, he was learning on pretty much every event we were going to. Some spectacular times, though, on certain events. It wasn't completely consistent across whole events, but I thought he was impressive last year. Let's hope for more.
And as you say, with the events that he's going back to, this is a new event for virtually everybody apart from the Hungarians.
Yeah.
But for the events he's going back to, I think there could be some real big pace there, and potentially it's a 3 gravel round championship. 5 of the 8 on tarmac. Strangely, for a French driver, he prefers the gravel. He's a gravel champion in France, and it is just getting quicker with each passing car, which is what we would expect.
So Franceschi then with a 3.06.
Question is when it flips and it starts to get slower.
Because what we're thinking is that, you do not want to be 15th on the road. You don't want to be that far back. You want to be kind of somewhere in the middle. Was it
Hayden said 10th to 16th, somewhere in there. Philip Mareš, again, someone else changing to the Toyota GR Yaris. He has been, as long as I can remember, in when he's been in the top line of ERC, has been in a Skoda. So this is a real big change again. Also, a Czech driver leaving the Czech make and mark to go to a Japanese one. So it's a big switch.
Exciting to see this pair back as well, Simone Wagner. Go on, Jules. You look pensive. You're going to say something important, but before you do,
yes,
hold that thought.
Exactly. Yeah.
Let's see.
I don't know whether it's going to be important anyway. I'm going to say something.
Just don't forget it. Okay.
Matthieu, you must be happy with that. A second fastest, 1 second faster than the fastest run so far. If you get 15th, if you start 15th tomorrow, would you be happy, or do you want to start 10th?
Of course, we are happy if we can start 15, but now it's not so bad. I think the time will be nice. Let's see the other guys behind. For sure, we try to push, and we are here to push, so nothing else.
Okay, let's see. Mareš is in the stage, and this is him on board. Obviously, he's on handcuffs as well. So remember, 4 tyre manufacturers. What we have here is we've got a seasoned top-line regular podium finisher now on the newest tyre brand in the championship. Hankook only really coming to this level at last season, and no disrespect to who used the Hankooks, it wasn't with established seasoned competitors. So it'll be interesting to see how Hankook get on this season at this level. What I was going to say about about Simone Wagner and Gerald Winter, I might have missed it last year. I don't remember it. He's in the new Fabia. He has got his headlights, his main beam are flashing. The only time I've seen that was Safari Rally Kenya 2 weeks ago, which the Skodas all had the flashing headlights. So my question is this a car that was used in Safari Rally Kenya, or is it still got a certain kind of like ECU in it?
We'll find out that fact, unless there are zebras here in Hungary.
Well, yeah, maybe. I don't know. I don't know. But it was something I just noticed when it was on the start line. The lights were fine, and I remember seeing those in those Skodas in Kenya, but not remembering seeing it anywhere else. I might have missed that all of last season in these cars.
Philippe, that's quite a way off the fastest time, 3.5 from Matthieu's time, which is the fastest. Did anything happen in the stage? Or?
No, to be honest, I'm quite satisfied. I did just one mistake, small mistake, which cost me maybe 1 second, but not more. And honestly, I enjoyed the stage.
That's good then. You enjoyed the stage.
So right now it is Matthieu Franceschi leading the qualifying stage, then Efren Lorena, then Cesk's Paddon, Philippe Mareš, who we've just seen. And we're on board now with Miko Heikkilä, who's also decided to opt for the Toyota this year.
Final corner coming up here. It's very, you can feel the car just kind of like down on power there with the traction. 3:08.4.
So 2.4 seconds off the fastest, still Franceschi, who's leading our qualifying stage here at the opening round of the ERC for 2024. Welcome to Rally Hungary, everyone.
Heikkilä's had quite a few rallies in this car already so far. Well, in a Yaris, might not be exactly the same car depending on which team he's been using, but in a Yaris.
Simon, tell us, what's the stage like compared to when you went through in free practice?
It's a lot more rough and deep now, but to be honest, it's not quite easy after 10 months not driving on gravel, so we're just trying to enjoy. But I think the times are not too bad, so I thought we will be more far away.
He's happy enough then. It's been 10 months since he's competed on a gravel surface, which is almost a year.
It's a lifetime in this sport, isn't it, really?
No, you're absolutely right.
Home hero.
Oh, here we go.
Yeah.
Always exciting when Miklós Csomós is on the stage.
Just the people in the service park hanging around waiting for him. There's lots of people.
He's got a huge amount of fans, hasn't he?
Massive fan base.
All the crowdfunding that happened for him last year to get back into the championship after that massive accident that he had in Canaries last year.
That was a big
crowdfunded by the Hungarian fans. Get him back out in the ERC, which they managed to do. I love that kind of stuff, and you know, he was hugely grateful for that.
This is good. I know we're not quite there, but
not
this is
quite.
good.
Oh. There we go. Yeah, just shy of Franceschi's time. 0.7 of a second behind the modest Miko Heikkilä.
First time for Miklós on these type of Pirellis. So it'll be interesting to see how he gets on. So it's a new tyre to him. There's a lot of work going on. Look how bouncy it is. Probably a better word than bouncy, but that was what came into my mind.
It was representative, Jules. It's good. Back to the start line then, Eric Seiss waiting now to head in, and there is Miko Heikkilä.
Miko, that's second fastest, 7/10 from the fastest time. Are you happy with the run?
Yeah, after the shakedown, as we were quite lost. Okay, not lost, but I wasn't finding I didn't find the rhythm, but okay, this is good. But okay, for sure, somebody can be faster from behind, but it's not too bad.
It's second fastest at the moment. It's not too bad at all.
Yeah, when he's saying lost, I suspect he's meaning just with the feeling, with the setup.
With
not
the setup
really
is
sure.
what, yeah, what he was talking just about earlier on.
He's not really sure where to go, and then something, either the road where we're hearing is cleaning, or it's getting rougher, it's maybe suiting him better. So, just you just noticed there that the left rear took a tap. Just looking here, the right rear, also, it's a small thing, the mud flap is missing already. They need to start the stage with the mud flap missing. It's not a big thing, but how much has he clipped a few little banks maybe along the way? So,
little shake of the hand there. 1.3 seconds off the pace means 5th fastest. It's pretty close, as you can see, within that top 5. It is still Matthieu Franceschi, though, who is fastest at qualifying.
So this is the bumpy section. That's where we were with Miklós on board, and it was like kind of really seesawing. You see the big ruts in there.
Huge ruts there.
Mixie, that was 5th fastest in there. Are you happy with the run? There's the times. Take a look.
Yeah, it was good, the stage. So the 2 mistakes. So we lost the 1 second. This is the rally. They go.
Okay, so still people just not quite super clean, making just small mistakes. Reckon I love it how they say I lost 1 second. How do you work that out? You know what I mean?
How do you know?
Yeah.
They know everything. You marvel at that. I marvel at periphery vision, where they can tell you exactly who's off the road, where they're off, and probably what they've done to the car when they're on the side of the road. That's quite incredible.
Do like the colour scheme on Miko Marček's car. It does look pretty cool.
Miko in quite determined form when I spoke to him this morning. We were really talking about what this rally was like, and he said, you know, there's some really nice wider sections within the stages, and we're going through quite a few military areas where the rally is based. He said it is rough, but not as rough as he was expecting, which is also a quote from Hayden Paddon as well. It's not as rough as he was expecting either, which is a good thing. Those red boards just, 7/10 as well. Slower.
God, it's close, look at it. Top 5 cars, 1 second.
It is. So Heikkilä was, you know, we take it down when we're looking at the qualifying stage, and of course when you get to the power stage as well, timing-wise, Heikkilä was faster than Eric Seitz. Even when you look at it, they were both 7/10 off the pace. Actually, when you look further into the time, it is Heikkilä who is faster, so Seitz 3rd fastest.
Eric, that's 3rd fastest. Are you happy with the run, or was there more you could get?
Yeah, definitely. It's qualified, so you have to push. And because of that, I made small mistakes with the corners that I lost the grip a little bit. But I think it's for everybody that lose a little bit of tens of seconds in some corner, because it's almost impossible to do a completely perfect run. But yeah, I'm happy with it.
Good to hear. Yet another returning ERC regular, Andrea Mabellini.
I thought their season last year was really strong, winning stages in some rallies, and just massively improved. Let's see what they can do. They've been still in the off-season competing. Won Rally Monza, if I'm correct. I don't understand the full ins and outs of Italian Championship, but there was top step of some kind of format of Rally Monza, whether it was overall rally, the Italian Championship or whatever. Some of these rallies run within rallies. We have that. This will be part of the Hungarian Championship and things like so. But yeah, they had a pretty busy off season, pretty good. Let's see what Marček can do.
There are the yellow boards.
I think Marček's got to be,
we're going to be faster here.
One of the championship favourites this season.
We are 0.6 of a second faster. Miko Marček leads the qualifying stage. 10 drivers are through so far. That's a great run from Marček.
I mean, we say about, oh yeah, the returning drivers coming back in, 2 or 3 years experience. This is a new rally, so it's kind of like, it's only when we get to Gran Canaria you'll kind of see that experience.
Yeah.
That's a great one, Miko. That's half a second faster than the fastest time to put you in the lead.
Yeah, good run. Very good tires, Michelin. And yeah, we can be happy with the quali run, but it's just the start of the race. It's good because we will have better position for tomorrow's stages, but this year I hope we will be good on the rallies, because in past we did a couple of the good quali stages, but now it's time to be on the Saturday and Sunday stages also competitive with all guys.
there we go. He's kind of forecast what he wants for himself this weekend.
Yeah, in qualifying, it's whatever it is. It varies from 3Ks to 5 or 6Ks during a season, and it's one stage, but the points are given out over 12, 14, 15 stages and 200 kilometers. So, yeah, I think his time in the WRC2 category would have given him some speed, because it is a tougher category. So it'd have given him some speed. He now needs the consistency, slightly riding up the bank on the inside of that right-hander there from Mabellini.
Frena destra 5 lunga e sinistra 1 più esterno rotaie. 50 fine. 150.
The countdown to the time begins. 2 seconds adrift of the fastest time through for Andrea Mabellini. That puts them 8th fastest out of a total of 11 drivers.
Listening to the tone of the voice, looking at the hand signals, I'm not sure they were super happy with something in that car together. I don't know. He wasn't happy with himself. He wasn't happy with his pace notes. I'm not sure, but just looking at their body language, I got a feeling they could have probably done better. I think that's what they're feeling.
We'll find out with Seb Scott in a couple of moments. Small little section of tarmac within this stage. It's linking the gravel roads together.
Previous Tour and a past winner here, won it in the final stage when I was 4 years ago. I went from 3rd to 1st in the final stage.
Wow, that must have been a heck of a stage.
Yeah, there was all sorts going on, and he was the one who absolutely nailed it when the others around him didn't.
It was fantastic to see him here last year, obviously, when we were on asphalt to close the season. Let's catch up with Andrea.
Andrea, 8th fastest. We're hearing you don't look quite happy. Can you tell us why?
No, because I made a few mistakes, especially in the first part. I missed one rail, and then I think that I lost a lot there. So it was quite okay run, but yeah. With these mistakes, you cannot be on the top.
So that's why we saw the slight frustration from him, let's say, when he crossed the flying finish. This is looking good. Oh. Just half a second.
Takes longer to get from that last corner to the flying finish, doesn't it?
Do you know what? That red board feels like a million miles away, doesn't it? What a fantastic run from Simone Tempestini. 2nd fastest. He is going to be delighted with that, hopefully.
Yeah.
That will stand him in good stead tomorrow. But don't forget, all the action starts tonight with stage 1.
Simone, great run, that 2nd fastest. Are you happy overall, or was there a little bit more?
I make a little mistake on the first curve, but it was a good run for us. It's okay. I feel good with the car, but yeah, we need to learn a bit this new car for us, and the rally will be really tough one.
Challenging couple of days lie ahead then, but you know, they wouldn't be here if it wasn't pushing them to their limits, challenging them. Martin László now. And just a reminder, the top 3 at the moment in qualifying. Nico Marchik leading the qualifying stage, then Simone Tempestini, who we've just seen, then Matthieu Franceschi.
Martin's a driver who we keep talking about experience and building up. Seen him now 2 or 3 years in the European Championship doing sporadic events, but learning and getting that pace. What's tricky about this stage is you can see we're going to come back down the other side here. All these little junctions, you've got the co-driver, your pace notes when you do the recce, and your co-driver re-delivering them back to you. Got to be absolutely on point. You can get so easily distracted, particularly, there's an archway over there, but you're going right before you go to come back through it, so.
As you can see from the onboard here, I'm looking at the skies rather than the road. Beautiful weather, and that's set fair for the whole weekend. But as we mentioned, it is hotter than expected, which that could bring its own difficulties into what is an abrasive gravel surface in some sections. The heat, you know, it's going to be tough for tyres this weekend.
Tyres will be the biggest talking point, I would say. Rough roads and tyres.
Turan completed 13th fastest.
Friguez, that's 13th so far, 1.4 off 12th. Are you happy with the run?
Not so much. The others make some crazy cuts, so they are not using the normal line. So yeah, it's a little bit different. We have to think about the tomorrow stages like this to how to be in the other line. Thank you.
I think potentially with the stage time he's sitting there, he might be, or he will be helping create the lines, not being in other people's lines, because I've got a feeling he's going to be towards the front.
But to be honest as well, I'm sorry for years. For the guys behind, his line will be fantastic because he's a super competitive driver.
Yes.
But he doesn't really want to be first on the road.
But
no
does
one
he
does.
know something? We've been saying no one's really sure where they really want to be. It's only Paddon who's kind of said 10th to 16th. But
yeah, maybe he wants
is somebody
to be up
thinking,
there.
Let's go towards the front because it is very abrasive. It is quite rocky and demanding. Is that where we go? But you always want to be as quick as you can. But sometimes it might not be as big a disaster as you think.
Martin completes then 4.6 seconds off Miko Marček's fastest run through on qualifying. Puts him 13th out of a total of 14 drivers through our qualifying stage.
Just watching the co-driver undoing his seatbelts there, and how many times he kind of pulled it. That just shows you how actually tight they are when they are fully done up, because he's only just getting comfortable by loosening off that much.
Martin, that's you 13th, 4.6 slower than the fastest, but you are ahead of Friguez by 8 tenths. So what were your impressions of the run?
Yeah, all okay. The car, we had some problem in the free practice, and I would try to be clever because we are not on the list who has to choose the position. So we will see, I hope.
So here's John Armstrong. In front of him in the stage is Gabor Nemeth, but on board with John Armstrong.
It's great to see him this year, you know, have this Rally 2 program, and hopefully we'll really get to see what John can do, because we've seen him in kind of fits and starts, haven't we, over the past couple of seasons. He's never had a good run of it, and seat time, as we all know, is so important.
He absolutely mastered, owned the Rally 3 ERC 3 category for the last couple of seasons. So he had that one rally last year in Scandinavia where he did the Rally 2 run on MRF tyres, and then now he's got this opportunity where he's got a time to kind of show it. Let's see. I hope for everybody that we have this big battle with mini drivers, you know, and
it's another one to add into the mix. You know, and that's the fantastic thing. It's already strong competition in ERC, right at the top level, and now we've added another really strong rival to the boys in there in John Armstrong.
And yeah, we're watching our top line ERC1 competitors here. There's ERC3, there's ERC4, there's junior ERC.
Brilliant entry in the junior category.
A huge number of cars and some really big, talented drivers in there, young and up-and-coming superstars.
And Gabor Nemeth has completed with the 15th fastest time.
Gabor, that's 3:21. Are you happy with this stage?
Our only goal was to complete the stage without any mistakes. So yeah, we try to take care also of the tires.
we've been talking about players there before, and he's obviously saying we just need to look after them, make sure we're okay.
Could really see in that section he was back there, the ruts, and how he's kind of guiding the car through the ruts.
Yeah,
they're deeper in some sections than others. So a reminder that the fastest time through is Miko Heikkilä 3:05.4. There's the countdown clock on the board for you. So we're into the red, but by how much? 2.9 seconds. So for Armstrong, that's 11th fastest out of a total of 16 drivers through the qualifying stage here at Rally Hungary. And there's our stop control. We'll hear from John.
John, that's 11th fastest. A few seconds off the fastest time, but are you happy with the run?
Yeah, not too bad. I tried pretty hard. It's obviously very new, and conditions are changing in there. But yeah, overall we're pretty happy. But yeah, it would have been nicer to get a little bit further up.
Long way to go this weekend then, but qualifying for us here is complete with the cars that we are seeing on the stage. That is John Armstrong heading off now. And there's the confirmation of the results there. Miko Heikkilä with the fastest time on the board. See how close it is though behind Tempestini, just half a second off that pace. Franceschi 6/10 behind the pace of the front. Then Heikkilä, then Eric Seiss, Lorena, Czesk and Csomós to the top 8. Then we've got Mabellini and Paddon to complete the top 10. Then Armstrong, who we just heard from. Simon Wagner, then Mareš, László, Turan and Nemeth. I mean, it's all important, isn't it? The qualifying stage now, and the fact that we are reversing what we've just seen. So Miko Heikkilä will be right at the back, essentially. And that's where he wanted to be by the sounds of his interview. But you're still wondering whether some people might actually want to be a bit further at the front.
Yeah, I'm not sure, to be fair, because we're just hearing conflicting kind of like feelings from the drivers, and there's still 3 or 4 more cars to go through. Now, if they get inside the top 15, they end up being in those positions. If they fall out of side the top 15, they then go at the back because they're not priority seeded or they've not finished in a certain place in the championship. So it's still not a decided thing, but Heikkilä was the quickest, confidence-wise, that gives you a good thing. I still think that's going to put him, as you say, 16th, 17th on the road, which normally, historically on a gravel rally, that's where you want to be, is further back.
Okay, well, if you are thinking of watching the coverage, and you'd better be, quite frankly, because we're here all weekend, then you can kickstart with us this evening, because the opening stage will be up and running this evening. Our coverage begins at 5:30, running till 7:30 this evening with the opening stage. Then we're into Saturday, bright and early, 8:45. Set your alarms for that one. And Sunday, we're on air from 9 o'clock. We've got a total of 13 stages throughout this weekend to kick off the first round of the ERC for 2024. If you joined us last year, you'll know how exciting it was, so make sure that you're with us right from the first stage this evening. It's super special tonight to get proceedings underway, and we'll be covering a lot of cars through there. So make sure you're with us on All Live. Myself and Julian Porter and the rest of the team will be talking you through it all, but for now, it's goodbye.